Getting the ball in play is one of the biggest things that high handicap golfers struggle with. So what about a few tips to help you swing it a little bit better, but also just make better strategic decisions off the tee so you get the ball in play more?
First mistake that I think most high handicappers make is teeing up on the wrong side of the tee. This might seem like a really simple thing because the tee's only 10 feet wide and the hole is 400 yards wide, but setting up on the right side gives you a good angle in for where you're trying to hit it. So on this hole, the 18th at Sandmore, we've got out of bounds all down the left and the bunker on the left and basically the entire planet to the right. People generally will either tee up on the right side or they just tee up in the middle because they're not thinking about it, but teeing up on the left side over here and maybe even to the point where you're not stood between the tee markers just opens the hole up so much. You know, just not rushing, get onto the tee, take your time and have a look at the hole.
Just think about where you can put your ball that's going to help you, I guess.
Just by, you know, stepping on the tee, having to think about it and going, right, well, where's all the danger? Where's the fattest part of or the safest part to hit it? And then standing on that side of the tee, which is going to give you the best chance to hit it over there. Point number 2 is understanding what a good shot looks like. What I do with players is, instead of counting fairways hit as like a measure of their driving, I sort of think about it as how many shots have you hit in play with driver. So if you're inside the trees and just in the rough, you still have a fairly straight shot at the green, which as far as I'm concerned is good enough. Generally there will be, you know, 50, 60, 70, 80 yards between trees on the left or trees on the right or hazard left, trees right or whatever's out there. As far as I'm concerned, if you can hit your shot in between the trees and you have a full swing, and a fairly straight shot at the green, that's good enough, because I do think it is probably the most important club in the bag, because if you drive it well, you're in play, you've got lots of chances at green in regs, but if you drive it terribly, you're chopping out. Putting's hard enough, chipping's hard enough, hitting the green is hard enough, but if you have to chip out sideways or like you do a lot, take penalty shots, then you can start racking up a high score quite quickly. Tip number 3 would be trying to change your shot shape whilst out on the course. You want to save your swing changes and fixes for the range, for the driving range, the practice ground, where you can hit multiple balls over and over again, attempting to hit it one way. Now, if you're a consistent fader of the ball, you're not just going to go on the course sort of like black out and draw it for 18 holes, are you? It just doesn't work like that. If you hit 90% or 100% fades on the range, you're definitely going to hit 100% fades on the course. So you have to play for that. Now, the other example is you hit one bad shot, you hit that snap hook that goes 120, and then spend the rest of your round trying to fight the snap hook when actually you've only done it once, it's only one shot, you're allowed a bad swing, and that you should still just be trying to hit it straight or play whatever shape you like to do.
So what's your advice if someone's consistently on every hole hitting a really big one shape and they don't know what to do?
If you hit a 20-yard fade or a 30-yard fade, my first advice would be just aim left. It absolutely isn't rocket science. If you need to move that curve from over there to over there, and you can do that with your alignment. I don't think players should ever stand out on the golf course and not understand why they're hitting the shape in the first place. So if you're a big slicer or a big fader, you clearly have an open club face problem. Maybe what you should be trying to do is fade it a little bit less, which by shutting the face, and that's either aiming left shuts the face, strengthening your grip shuts the face, or whatever. But I really don't like people going out there not understanding what they're doing to start with. If you're in that camp, then you need to seek professional help. You know, the best thing I do with players in lessons is I go onto the range, I've got a notebook, I write down numbers 1 to 10, I have them hit 10 drives and I write down the shot shape and where the ball finishes. If you're a consistent slicer, your face is open pretty much every time, so you just need to somehow get that face squared up, and that can just simply be aiming more left and playing for the shot. You know, you've got to go work on that on the range, but when you're out playing, that's not the place for it. You've just got to, I'm slicing it today, aim more left. This is one of my favourite ones. So, high handicappers, none of them swing it flat enough. It's a bold statement, but I stick by it. I love a flat swing because it helps you drive the ball better. Best drivers in the world, McIlroy's got like the flattest left arm on tour, and sort of like pound for pound the longest hitter on tour as well. So we can definitely look at him as a model of someone we should be trying to copy. When you flatten your swing, you do 3 things. So the first thing you do is that gets the club more on the inside. So if you're that chronic slicer, that's going to help you not curve the ball to the right so much. The second thing it's going to do is help you swing a bit faster, because the club is going to swing into the ball from further away as opposed to down and steep. The third thing it does is that's going to help you hit up on the ball a little bit more, which in turn is going to make you strike a little bit more efficient and help you hit it a little bit further. So most high handicappers you sort of generally meet at golf clubs are a bit too steep. They don't hit the ball very far. They all hit it with a bit of a cut, and it can be really just as simple as if you went out there, tried to make a backswing where you keep your left arm under your shoulder. It's going to be a bit flatter, it's going to go a little bit further, and it's going to go a bit straighter, so that can't be a bad thing. Last tip is golfers not quite understanding what their limitations are or whatever by trying to carry hazards. You know, you stood on the tee, there's a bunker on the left like there is here, there's a ditch, whatever, and they're all at that sort of maybe I can get over it range. We all know, all right, I get it, maybe your best ever drive has gone 300 yards downhill, downwind, but that isn't reality most of the time. It's really important probably to know what your average carry distance is as opposed to what your best carry distance is or best total is. And if you can't consistently, on average, carry the ball at least 10 yards further than that hazard, then you should be either playing around it or playing short of it, because your expected score when you go either into a bunker or into a ditch goes up at least 1, maybe even more for a high handicapper. We've got to be doing our best to sort of be trying to plot our way around the course, and if that means hitting a 5-wood off the tee instead of a driver and then not being able to reach the green in 2, that's a better option than getting in the ditch, getting stuck in the fairway bunker and causing yourself loads of issues that way. You've got to, you know, step onto the tee, and before you pull out your driver, have a little think, check your watch, check your GPS, get your laser out, whatever it is, figure out how far away the trouble is, and then make a decision from there. Maybe I can get over it on my day's best, but you're not going to do your day's best all the time, otherwise it wouldn't be your day's best. And either play short or play around it.
So 5 pretty simple tips there. I like that 4 of them are pretty non-technique based, the stuff you can improve without changing your swing. You just need to think about it more, probably learn a little bit more about your shots, make sure you know what your shot shape is, how far you carry it, and then maybe try swing a little bit flatter, and we'll see you hitting maybe over the hazards after that.